Thanks for staying with us. We'll move, starting with The Nation. Bids open for Lagos, Kano, Abuja Airport, Port Harcourt Airport, actually. COVID-19 vaccination resumes with Moderna. 5 killed in Taliban shutdown of Kabul Airport. Oscom, Pandep, INC, PDP protest PIB Act. 2022 budget to be funded with 4.9 trillion naira loan, says Minister. NCDC, cholera killed 1,174 in 7 days. Lagos begins recruitment into health sector. Okay.
So, yes, the major headline, there's been plans to concession of the airports, the Lagos, Kano, Abuja, Port Harcourt. I remember I took a story about 2 weeks ago when it was re-emphasized that they are not selling, but the government cannot afford to maintain this airport. So the concession bidder is now open. The aviation workers feel it's not realistic, but the contract is supposed to protect the workers, so the workers don't have any reason to worry about loss of jobs. The concession will be affecting all the international terminals. There will be a public-private partnership arrangement, and we're hoping to see how profitable that will be for Nigeria in the long run.
Yes, I have NCDC is reporting again on the cholera epidemic. So it says between August 2nd and 8th, we have lost 1,174 persons across the 23 states and the Federal Capital Territory. Sadly, about 26 of the suspected cases are children between 5 to 14 years. 51 of them are males, 49 are females. This is a serious case. I mean, as I keep saying, 2021, there's just some of these things you feel that we should have handled, we should be able to do away with. So we're appealing to Nigerians, please make sure that you're keeping, you're hygienic, you're keeping your area clean, you're washing your hands and things like that, eating properly cooked foods. And all these things help to...
For such a preventable disease.
Yeah, help. That's
help a serious pandemic. We have 1,000 plus cases.
So I wanted to take the picture story. The city of Kabul, many of us woke up to this story yesterday, was all over the media, what happened in Afghanistan, where the Taliban took over at the city and the president fled, and 5 people have been reported to die while they're trying to board the evacuation airline, was evacuating workers from the U.S. Embassy and other U.S. citizens, and they're trying to get on board that flight. 5 were killed. They're not sure exactly how it happened, but many Nigerians are trying to deduce lessons from that experience, saying that we must ensure that we sustain our democracy and let it not deteriorate to this point where we're having to flee in different ways. That this is something we need to learn from and make sure that we keep the peace, as you had said earlier.
Yeah, it's not our hot topic, but, it was very eye-opening to hear the President of the United States saying that, we came here to do our job, we've done it, and the Afghans have not done their part, and that is why they're in this position. So you don't wait on anyone to come and to help you. You are your own saviors, and that's what we keep telling Nigerians. See, this is our country. No one else is going to come here and save us. We need to make sure we put our hands together and maintain peace.
I think it's even deserving of a hot topic. We can actually have a conversation about it because Nigerians should... It's good for us to build on this experience and see how we can learn from it. Let's move on now to Daily Trust. NNPC, PEF, PPRA to go as Buhari signs PIB into law. COVID-19, AIDS workers at risk as Buhari flouts isolation guidelines. We won't allow play to return to days of religious crisis, says Lalong. High taxes pushing SMEs, mortality rate, says Oshimbajo. How bandits abduct 15 students, 5 staff from Zamfara College. Encomiums as IBB clocks 80 today. Why third force would be difficult in 2023, says Naaba. Right, which stories?
So I have the COVID exposure story. The critics have come for the president saying he's flouted the same guidelines that he claimed yesterday, or his spokesman, Gabashew, claimed that he was adhering to. Because immediately the president arrived, in less than an amount of days, he's seen to have signed the PIB into law. He's also seen to, to be mixing with his close staff who had to take pictures and promote some of his activities. And they believe that he exposed those people because he was exposed to a confirmed COVID case at the Nigerian mission in commission in the UK. And that person, because of that, the commission had to be shut down for 10 days in the UK. He's expected to have, be more responsible in his activities and strictly isolate after coming back to the country, even though he might not have the case.
Well, a lot of people have taken the vaccine. I like to believe that people in that kind of level would have probably taken the vaccine. So maybe they feel it doesn't mean they can't get it, but it still protects them.
The commission was shut down for COVID in the UK for 10 days, and you were at that commission. The least you can do.
Yes.
Sort of agree with them.
So I have another heartbreaking story. I think we already know this story. The College of, the College of Agriculture and Animal Sciences in Zamfara. The bandits came in, abducted 15 students and 5 staff members. They stormed the school around 11 p.m. And there were policemen actually stationed in the school. They got into a gun battle with them. Even vigilante groups from neighboring communities came to join the police, but these bandits outnumbered them and overpowered them. They went straight to the hostels, started breaking down the doors, and they said sometimes they'll just point guns at the students in the hostel and tell them to open the door. And so they took away 15 students and 5 staff members. And this is 5 weeks after they had kidnapped the provost of that school, and who was released after a ransom has been paid. Police, of course, have said they've set up a search and rescue team to make sure they find these people and hopefully catch these bandits and prosecute them.
Okay.
So, major headline. After 13 years back and forth, the president has sent to sign the PIB. The actual ceremony will take place on Wednesday because he's supposed to still be isolating, but he signed it still within isolation. The previous petroleum bill that we have had been on since the Petroleum Act of 1969, which was very obsolete. Many people had complained that this had cost us millions and billions of naira because some investors would not come in because we didn't have a proper framework. In this framework, of course, there will be a rejigging of how NNPC, PPRA, and all these other agencies would work. It also might involve the fact that there will be removal of subsidy, which some have already complained. One name, I'm trying to get the name of who his designation. He said that Nwaleke said this might be tough. The removal of subsidy might be tough on Nigerians, but in the short and medium term frame, it will be a necessary hardship for Nigerians to go through. I don't think we want to hear that part of the bill, but I think it's something that we need to just prepare ourselves to face and then effectively rebuild this entire petroleum industry. Whether we like it or not, it's still where most of our funds come from.
Because now the DPR becomes obsolete and the Department of Petroleum Resources duties become divided between 2 new agencies. What is going to happen to the staff? If they don't clarify it now, we'll now have issues of another labor issue in future. And you don't want to...
I think that they will just reassign all the staff because...
I'm hoping that some departments fall where they're supposed to go. We're just hoping, but we
just hope that they are making those arrangements.
Ready. Nobody wants Pengasen to join.
Anyways, I was going to take the fact that our vice president was represented at an event for, I think it was ACCI actually. He was saying that high taxes is causing SMEs mortality rates. So many companies are dying because they are paying high taxes. And according to him, about 41 million participating enterprises, of which makes 76% of that is the nation's labor force. And they're saying that they have to propose to the legislature to harmonize the taxation for these groups so that they wouldn't be paying inflated numbers and they can have something more consistent for them. Okay, moving on to the news direct. We don't have many papers today. Wonder why? I think I can go on a quick break. When we come back, we can continue with the review. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Okay, still, I was going to take a story why third force will not be difficult, but would be difficult according to NABA, but I'll take that story a bit later. Let me move on quickly to the news direct. 13 years after Buhari signs PIB into law, we talked about that already. Malaria Makinde flags of distribution of 5 million insecticide-treated nets across the 33 local governments. Police arrest 39 suspects, recover 2 RPGs, 13 AK-47 rifles, and 58 wraps of dynamite. I read that story.
I did.
Keita commends state funds on revamping tertiary institutions. Effective judicial system will assist Nigeria's economy, says Ambassador Rimi. Okay, let's start with... yeah, go ahead.
Has, flagged off a distribution of about 5 million mosquito-treated nets to all the families and all the 3 local governments in Oyo State. According to his special advisor on health, she said that, they would engage workers. They've already started jingles, trying to enlighten people that people will be coming to take advantage of this distribution. And they would engage workers who will go door to door to ensure that it gets to every family. Those were the details I was trying to look at, because every time government flags off, people don't actually get the mosquito-treated net. You even have to pay some health centers. But they're saying that all the 350-something health centers within your state would also be used as distribution point, but they will do door-to-door, and that the focus is also on pregnant women. This is laudable. We must say something is good, but how about we ensure that environment is top priority? So if we have a clean environment, we really do not need...
Malaria is still the
I was listening to
killer.
that. Yeah, good. So I was reading that too, and I was saying that, see, the way we're handling malaria issue, we cannot keep doing this giving of nets. One day we come and then we're giving nets. We need to move from here. Every other country, they move from one point to the next, where our environment is working. But I was happy that they also mentioned that, they're going to make primary health care accessible and affordable, free at the grassroots level, and that they make sure that the 351 electoral wards all have their primary health care centers. So that is what we should be looking at. Let's make more permanent investment in healthcare.
Yeah. Where we eradicate malaria totally and completely.
And we can do that.
Yeah. I'll take the story. The police arrested 39 suspects across the country, not within one location, and they recovered 2 RPGs, that's rocket propeller. I needed to just, because those are the things they used to take down things that are flying in the air. So, and then they recovered 13 AK-47, 58 wraps of dynamite. The 58 wraps of dynamite was found in Cross River State with a man who's from Cross River, 36-year-old. Mother is from Cameroon. He's no, he's not drugs. He's into ammunitions. That's what he does. He trades ammunitions across the border.
Traffic ammunition.
Traffic,
yes. He's into arms and ammunition dealer. And they found him with 38 wraps of explosive materials, dynamite, ammunition.
Why is customers?
And it was found. Exactly. So we need to conclude this investigation. Also found someone in Benue who had the 2 RPGs. If you remember, the pilot that survived that stuff was shot down because these bandits had RPGs that could shoot down the military aircraft that was bombarding them. And this 78-year-old man was found with 2 RPGs. They said he's a middleman between the people that are buying and those that are being supplied. And so we're hoping the investigation will find who the buyers are and who the sellers are. Also, they broke a syndicate of cybercrime people, and there were a lot of them, and they recovered 157 SIM cards in this day and age of NIN. But they recovered 157 active SIMs that were being used by the gang to perpetrate their crimes. When police is doing well, we applaud them. Good job in finding these people, but these people are not just the end, they are like the beginning of the investigation. Yeah, and if we conclude, we can reduce it from the source. Yes, well done.
Okay. Yeah. Let's move on now to this day. What's a shared moment as Buhari signs Petroleum Act to overhaul the oil industry? Biden defends Afghanistan policy amid mounting criticism of withdrawal. Here we host communities to get $500 million annually from the PIA. Expect more intervention projects in 2022, FG assures Niger Deltans. And Jega, rotational presidency won't solve Niger's problems. Okay, which stories are we taking?
There was a story we missed on our economy because we're already working towards 2022 budget, and the federal government plans to borrow 4.9 trillion naira to finance our budget. This will be this is a huge debt profile. We're also total debt profile that we're using to fund our budget is going to be 5.6 trillion from both local and the international local and foreign loans. And he's saying that we just don't have any other option. So I know that it seems like they found a way to get this money, whether we agree or not. But what we can ensure Nigerians can do is to clamor for the government to block all leakages and ensure that whatever fund is going, if they are promising Niger Delta intervention, can we see the finish so that we don't borrow money to do roads and then at the end of the day we have a debt, we don't have roads. We don't borrow money to fix hospitals and we don't have the hospitals, but we have the debt.
Yeah.
So let the money be borrowing go to what is meant to do and not into people's private pockets.
True.
Okay. There was a story that Jega was saying that rotational presidency won't solve Nigeria's problem. And the point I was trying to make was that what Nigeria needs is a competent leader, regardless of what part of the country he's from. So he's saying that our focus shouldn't be on the rotation, but more on somebody who is competent enough and who has the interests of Nigerians at heart and who can actually take us to where we need to lead. That leadership
That's
can
another
come
hot
anyway.
topic.
So that's actually an interesting
That's a very
topic
hot
to
topic.
discuss, but that's his own perspective. Okay, that's all we can take. Oh, hey, Ibrahim former head of state, former head of state of Nigeria, General Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida, who placed my father on house arrest and seized his passport. He's 80 years old today. Happy birthday, General. Many people are sending him messages. You know, we just keep thinking, the mixed feelings, mixed reactions. People are just thinking, this same IBB is 80 and we're celebrating it.
And many of the people that were protesting against his government have passed on.
I'm telling you,
know.
this is life. This is life, no balance.
At all.
But then I was saying that these people were leading this country at very young age. That's why they seem like they have lived forever. They were so young when they were...
And now the people that are still leading us are so old. And
they're age mates now.
Yeah, interesting. So now they're still, he's getting a lot of accolades. And I'm thinking, that's not the same people that were saying that Ibrahim was the general was the cause of where we are today. But now you see these days, I've not seen these days.
If you live long enough in this world, you will see a lot of problems.
To celebrate, to forget all the things that have happened.
Many things will...
We also join Nigerians in celebrating him. Since
those
they are
that
people
choose to
celebrating,
celebrate
we
him.
celebrate you.
Happy birthday.
Because we want
But
to
you have lived long.
You want to be 80 years.
We want to be 80
I
years.
want to be alive long enough to be only when I'm good.
I want to be alive to see Nigeria succeed. And I think that should be a legacy for everybody.
For
that is.
IBB, we wish you many years, and we hope that the Nigeria you see today is the Nigeria you dreamed of. Because that is, that's what
What a birthday. What a birthday wish. I think we should just move on.
Okay, let's go to break. When we return, move on to our hot topic of the day. No, we have our friends from Roland, I believe. We're going to break, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.